And we are back with the Heroes of SummerSlam. What's up, guys? It's me, the ALE Prince, back with Heroes of SummerSlam, episode 3, I believe. Yes, this is the third one we've done. And next guy I'm going to talk about is a guy with a short amount of matches, but still had a pretty good, solid resume in SummerSlam. And that is the best in the world, the straight edge savior, CM Punk. Yes, why did I put this guy? Well, back in the day, We Are Pro Wrestling is the one who became the guy who created the Heroes of the Big Four pay-per-views. And he did put CM Punk in his list. And he mainly said that CM Punk has either regained or reclaimed the championships each year he was in it, besides his first match. But he's either walked in as champion or he's fought for a championship, a big title to say the least, and has won it at least 4 times. Yeah, four times, yeah, I believe. Yeah, but he's been in all of the big matches. And in 2007, while the ECW championship is not really looked as a world championship, it was considered to be one. And I gotta say, this was a good one. John Morrison versus CM Punk. This is one of the slightly good things about 2007. Honestly, even if you rebooked 2007, it was so hard considering the whole tragedy with Chris Benoit at the time. But Punk and Morrison had a decent match. They tried their best. They had a better match down the road in an ECW live show. So if you guys look for that one, I recommend you rent it because that one was a pretty good one. This one was pretty okay for the most part. John Morrison wins, so yeah. 2008 though, this one is when CM Punk cashed in the World Heavyweight Championship, but he wasn't looked as a main event player just yet. No one really saw CM Punk as a main event player quite yet, until they showed the full charismatic guy that he is today. And he fought JBL, of all people. Sort of main event star, but not quite. But JBL is not the best wrestler in the world, let alone a great one. But he's had some pretty solid matches with Eddie Guerrero and John Cena at the time. But besides those matches, honestly, this is one of his slightly better ones. And CM Punk did the best that he could. And they had a pretty okay match. I kind of forgot the feud, though, because it was just kind of forgettable. But it was a good match. I really enjoyed the match. It was a nice little match. And CM Punk wins the World Heavyweight Championship, or he gains it back. As he walks in as world champion, he walks out as world champion. And honestly, 2008 was a weird year because the two championship matches are not even in the main event. Instead, you have Batista and Cena, and you got Undertaker and Edge. Not for the main titles, to say the least. So that's fucking insane. 2009, though, this is when he actually main events SummerSlam. And I'm actually shocked that he main events SummerSlam in 2009 because if you look at all these matches, there's two matches that could have easily been the main event. DX versus Legacy and Randy Orton versus John Cena. Instead, the main event was Jeff Hardy versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship in a TLC match. The last time we ever see Jeff Hardy on a wrestling or WWE pay-per-view until WrestleMania 33. He does have a brief match in a steel cage rematch against CM Punk. I think the SmackDown after SummerSlam. That's about it. But this match was incredible. I really enjoyed the feud between CM Punk and Jeff Hardy. These guys had great chemistry in the ring, great promos. Everything about this feud said gold. And it was true, because this was honestly a real life feud between how CM Punk is straight edge and Jeff Hardy's this fucking moron that drinks a lot and screws himself over, and it proves everything that CM Punk said, and that's saying a lot from a heel. At the time, CM Punk knew how to get real heel heat. Now people just tend to love him just because he did what he did in 2014. But I mean, Punk was a real son of a bitch, and Jeff Hardy was just trying to have fun, even though he might have done the wrong things. And I really enjoyed this match. It was just a fantastic match. It was one of the best ones I've seen. And my favorite part, how could I forget to talk about the Swanton Bomb from the top of a ladder onto the ring announce table, or the commentators table, onto CM Punk. That was just brutal. And I was shocked that CM Punk won, but he won. And people were booing because CM Punk was, in fact, the biggest heel at the time. And, it doesn't get better because after that, CM Punk's next competition was The Undertaker, which led to a huge downfall for CM Punk. And it took him a while to recover. He had to wait until 2011 of all years to recover because 2010 was a shit year. I mean, look at his match at SummerSlam. Now, he was part of a faction called the Straight Edge Society, one of the worst factions ever, and it had so much potential. You look at the freaking talent in the Straight Edge Society. You have CM Punk leading Luke Gallows, aka Doc Gallows, Joey Mercury, and Serena, who I believe is in the Mae Young Classic too at this point. But I was a bit disappointed with the Straight Edge Society. This stable had so much potential, and they buried it with the Big Show of all people. Yes, 2010 was a pretty shit year for wrestling, simply because as much as I like the feud between Taker and Kane, the matches were garbage. The whole Nexus storyline was a bust. The only good thing I could say about 2010 was Daniel Bryan becoming the United States champion, because he's had a great run as United States champion. And if you guys haven't seen any of his matches as the United States champion, go back and watch them. They're really good and really underrated. He had great matches with Ted DiBiase Jr., John Morrison, Dolph Ziggler, The Miz, of all people, Sheamus. He had great matches with everybody. So honestly, 2010, the only redeeming thing about it was Daniel Bryan as the U.S. champion. Aside from that, everything else was garbage, and I feel bad for CM Punk. Granted, he was already injured, and he basically just while he was injured, he had to deal with the whole Straight Edge Society, which is just a big letdown, and this led to Joey Mercury doing stuff outside of WWE, and at least it led to Luke Gallows becoming Doc Gallows, which is honestly his best run ever. No doubt about that. But yeah, it took 2011 for CM Punk to redeem himself, because in 2011, CM Punk was going to have a great year, but then it got screwed up with the whole, Summer Punk had so much potential, but, Triple H and Kevin Nash had to screw it up for him, so I feel bad for that. But, he had a fantastic match with John Cena, and Triple H was a special guest referee. There's a part where I really enjoyed, but it was John Cena and CM Punk were wrestling, and they fight outside the ring. They're both knocked out. Triple H is doing the 10 count. He's going to hit 9, and then Triple H is like, fuck no, we have to have a legit champion. So he throws both back in the ring, and this leads to CM Punk beating John Cena, but his foot was on the rope, so, Triple H didn't see it, so there was a bit of a screwy finish, but eventually this led to Kevin Nash coming in, power bombing Punk. Alberto Del Rio cashes in, and Alberto Del Rio becomes one of the most boring, unforgettable champions in the history of this business. So yeah, I feel bad for Punk here, because this was definitely his year. And he still redeemed himself all the way until November. So, because November, he beats Alberto Del Rio for that WWE Championship at Survivor Series, leading to the longest run in CM Punk's career. He starts WWE 2012 as the WWE Champion and ends 2012 as the WWE Champion, which is great because he had fantastic matches with everybody. Daniel Bryan, John Cena, even Kane to an extent. He had great matches with, Ryback's matches were garbage, but he had a pretty good run. Chris Jericho, he had a pretty solid run in 2012. Honestly, 2012 was the year of CM Punk. But 2012 SummerSlam, Punk had a good match, but it was one of his weaker matches. He comes in and Bret the Hitman Hart colors. He fights John Cena and The Big Show in a triple threat match for the WWE Championship. Honestly, the story wasn't that bad. I actually pretty much enjoyed it. It was pretty enjoyable for the most part. It teased Punk and Cena for later down the road, but this all led to CM Punk turning heel at Raw 1000 with the whole Rock situation. And honestly, Raw 1000, as big as it sounds right now, Raw having 1000 episodes, it does lead to 3 hours of Raw. So yeah, awkward. But yeah, Punk and John Cena and Big Show did the best that they could. The whole screwy finish of Big Show tapping out to both Cena and Punk, this led to AJ, who was the GM at the time, to restart the match. Big Show chokeslams both of them. Cena hits the AA. Punk steals a victory, and that leads to Punk as a chicken shit heel, which didn't work for the most part. I don't like chicken shit heels. They never work for me. It didn't work with Rollins, Orton, Owens. Everybody's just been a crap heel chicken shit champion. So that's the big problem. But Punk tried. He eventually loses the championship to The Rock. He loses it to Undertaker at WrestleMania, and he's just kind of giving up. But he comes back. He has a pretty good feud with Brock Lesnar. I already brought it up in the whole Brock Lesnar scenario. This is the best SummerSlam match in the modern era. Honestly, you don't get matches like this in a while. So Brock and Punk stole the show for me that night. It was just a fantastic match. The best versus the beast. The whole story was there. I could talk about this match for a long time. I mean, I've talked about it. I believe this is my third time talking about it because I reviewed SummerSlam 2013 and I did Heroes of SummerSlam with Brock Lesnar. So, what more can you say about this match except go watch it? It was just that damn good. The story was there. The whole drama was there. The beatdown was there. It was just fantastic. One of the best SummerSlam matches ever. And I really, really enjoyed this match. So, Punk had a pretty good resume, even though this was his last match. And, I feel bad for Punk leaving because, he might have been the next big guy on the company. But, who knew? Who knows what could have happened if he never got fired or released or he never left or whatever happened. So, CM Punk easily changed the business, but SummerSlam was definitely a huge place in Punk's heart because he had some pretty good matches there. His worst match, if I have to pick, easily with the whole Straight Edge Society versus the Big Show, that was just bullshit in my opinion. The way this thing was built up. But Brock Lesnar and CM Punk had a fantastic match, which was easily the best match of the show. That will be it for Heroes of SummerSlam with CM Punk. He has a total of 8 matches. 4 wins, 4 losses. A pretty even score. But next up, I'm going to talk about a guy who, changed the business when he joined the TLC matches. If you know who I'm talking about, you might know that on this day, I see clearly everything will become to life. Till next time, it's me, the ALE XX Prince. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And until then, I'm out.